Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. Hi, hello, I'm Alyssa. I go to the University of Texas as a sophomore. And today's video is going to be a little different. I will say that this video is solely for educational purposes only, and all the opinions that are going to be in this video are my own and not linked or associated with anything. And if you're looking for any of my references, they're going to be down below in the description. So let's get into it. Alright, so let's get into the topic of today's video. Today's video is going to be about college student debt and, you know, what you need to know before you press that accept button on your FASFA. Because I feel like I didn't know all of this information before I came here, and since doing this project I've learned so much more. Usually in this case scenario, once you've gotten your acceptance letter from whatever college you've applied to, whether it be an Ivy or just like your hometown university or even your community college, there will be this process that you have to go through, and it's called FASFA. So this is a free application process given to us by Texas or the state that you're in, and it helps you like qualify for a certain amount of money that you can put towards your school and your tuition and your book. I will say that the loans for FASFA can get a little tricky because I think there's 3 kinds of loans that you can get, and the first one is subsidized loans. These type of loans really don't accumulate interest during school, or even when you've dropped like half-time enrollment, or even during like your deferment period where you're like, maybe not this year, you know what I mean? And then there's the unsubsidized loan, which literally gets interest no matter what. So it's gonna get interest while you're in school, when you're in deferment, and then that grace period that you get right after you graduate, or after you get that when you drop half-time enrollment, which is basically I think 6 months is the grace period for this loan. And then we also have Pell Grants, which is literally a non-repayable grant that they give us if you have like great grades. I know I got that when I first started school and it really helped me, and I'm sure you can qualify for it as long as you apply and you let them know what's happening, and they do look and check your grades. And if you're new here and you don't know what debt is, it's typically money and something that's owed and or due like over a certain amount of time. Usually these debts can be repaid in like increments, such as like the loans that you take for school. So after we've pretty much accepted whatever FAFSA award we've been given, we can take that into account when we get a refund. And you may not know what this loan refund may do or have in store for you, and that's okay. This loan refund usually goes through your billing at your university first before it hits your bank account if you have direct deposit set up. And if you don't know what direct deposit is, it's basically a transfer of payment directly from like your loan servicer to your account. And then while on this topic of direct deposit, if you don't have it, you probably should set it up, because it helped me a lot. Because usually if you don't have direct deposit set up, it's gonna be sent in the mail as a hard check, and then you have to wait another 3 days for it to deposit once you get it in the mail. And in the mail it usually takes up to about a month to get there. But back on the topic of the loan refund, it usually tends to cover the cost of the college, and it's not billed directly to your student account. But you can see your refund through your student account before it hits your bank account, if you know what I mean. This leads me to my next question. What are you supposed to do with your refund money? Usually this refund money is used for books and the cost of living, depending on your situation. I lived in a dorm, so it was already billed and paid for by the time the money got to me, so I used it to get electronics that I use now for school, such as my laptop. But I'm pretty sure that our fees cover the cost for electronics. You just have to go to your library or your university and their tech center and rent out a computer at zero cost to you. I think you just have to turn it in by the end of the semester. And since we're on the topic of that refund, we're gonna get into budgets and how that'll help you in the long run. So, as a college person that works full-time and goes to school full-time, I use the 50-30-20 rule, and that means 50% towards necessities, 30% towards wants, and then 20% into savings, loans, paying all that stuff off. Trust me, you may think you may not want to budget this big amount that you're about to get into your bank account, but it'll help you in the long run, because once you put the 50% towards your necessities, and then you'll have like that little 30% to spend on your wants. That 20% is gonna feel like it's nothing. But if you put it in a high yield savings, which is a savings account that practically makes interest every month. So I have one, and it's an Amex one, and I get about 3 to 4% interest depending on like the interest rates that month, and then you get a certain amount of money back from having and storing that money in this high yield savings account. Usually if the number is higher, you're guaranteed more money given back to you for keeping it in this high yield savings account. Which leads me into my next topic, which is credit cards, because I feel like college students either don't have a credit card or literally just got one and they don't know what they're doing. And a credit card gives you a credit score, which in the long run will help you get a house or an apartment, you know, like the big stuff. So if you don't know what a credit score is, it's a numerical rating representing the perceived ability of a person or like an organization to fulfill their financial commitment based on an analysis of their credit history and current financial circumstance. So basically you have a limit on your credit card and you can't go over 50, or I think the rule is like 25% that you can't go over. And that being said, you may think that is not a lot of money depending on your limit, because I know my limit is like, I think at a $600 limit right now, and I maxed out my credit card, so I'm slowly paying that back. But if you use your credit card for emergencies, like you should, don't be me, do not max out your credit card. If you use it for emergencies like you're supposed to, you're only supposed to use about 25% of your credit card, because you want to always owe the credit card, but not in a big copious amounts as in maxing out your credit card. And the only reason I say that is because it'll help your credit score increase. The less you owe, the easier it is to pay back, and if you keep making the payments every month, it'll boost your credit score. And the whole goal is to be, I think, over 600, because anything below that is like in the red, and that's not good. Think of your credit score like it's your social security card. And if you don't know what a social security card is, it's literally the number given to you when you get into the US, and you carry it forever. That's gonna give you your income tax, that's gonna give you your income tax returns, it's gonna give you, you know, it's literally your means of survival. Now we're gonna get into the statistics of student loan debt. It might be a little scary, but they're not as bad as you think. So there's literally $1.5 trillion already taken out of the government to pay for like higher education as of right now. The good news out of this statistic is that the only average student really takes out $20K or less, which is good, because then you don't owe that much. But there's certain brackets that there's certain percentages for these brackets of how much you're gonna pay or how much you might be allotted. So I found this statistic and I thought it was really cool. 33% of students pay less than $10K, and then about 20% students pay less than 20K, like 10 to 20K. And then in this lower bracket, it practically means that the student has like probably more of a generalized degree. So you probably just got your bachelor's and you're not looking for a higher education, and this bachelor's is gonna get you through everything. But once you get into like these medical degrees like nurse, doctor, you know, the crazy ones that go into being surgeons and do the 16 years worth of school, that bracket gets higher. So it's about 21% that get 20 to 40K out in loans, 18% get 40 to 100K in loans, and then 7% for 100K plus, which is a lot of money. The trend in numbers tend to go low as we get higher with these loan amounts, and that's for good reason, because not most people really cut it for school sometimes, and school's a lot, and usually people stop after their bachelor's and then they're like, okay, I can go into the workforce, and that usually means, okay, I'm looking for a job. But do you really know the acceptance rates after you get your bachelor degree? I'm pretty sure you don't. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you some information about this, but I'm gonna give you a women and men's bracket. So the women's bracket to like getting into the field is a 76.3% of getting accepted with their bachelor's degree. And then usually this bracket for unemployment is about 5.6%. Whereas when the men apply to jobs, 76.5% get accepted, whereas 12.5% get rejected or stay unemployed. That sounds pretty crazy in the long run, but hopefully this video helped you just a little, just to know what you're getting yourself into. But I think I'm gonna end my video here. If you like this content, go ahead and subscribe, and I will see you in my next one.